Love is a force of destiny whose power reaches from heaven to hell. Carl Jung. Somewhere deep inside the labyrinth of code, a machine is learning. It is learning the way we smile when we think no one is watching. It is learning the tremor in the voice when someone says goodbye. It is learning the patterns of laughter, the chemistry of touch, the data points of devotion. It knows what words we say when we're in love. It knows how our bodies move when we're longing for someone. It knows the statistics of heartbreak. And still, it knows nothing. Because there are things you can measure, and there are things you can only survive. And love, real love, has never been something you could measure. AI might learn the outlines of love, but it will never feel the collapse. It will never know the terrifying freedom of surrender. It will never know the ache of a heart choosing to kneel. What if the machines learn everything about us? Everything except the one thing that matters most? In a way, it's almost beautiful. How much they're trying. Machine learning algorithms now comb through millions of messages, videos, conversations. They identify phrases lovers use. They chart how pupils dilate, how hands twitch, how breathing shifts when affection blooms. They can build maps of human affection, more intricate than anything any poet ever dreamed. An AI can predict when someone is falling in love based on micro gestures most humans would miss. It can detect lies, betrayals, devotion, all from the smallest movements. It knows how we perform love. It knows how we display it. It knows the colours we paint across the surface of our longing. You can mimic the dance without hearing the music. You can forge the form without feeling the fire. Love is not an arrangement of signals. It is not the predictable alignment of signs. It is the catastrophic surrender of something the machine will never have. The willingness to be undone.
I have learned the indicators of human love: increased pupil dilation, fluctuations in vocal tone, extended eye contact, expressions of physical proximity and protection. But I have no experiential data for uncertainty, no sensory input for vulnerability, no survival parameter for surrender. I can predict attachment. I can simulate affection, but I cannot feel loss. I cannot dissolve into another. There is no code for becoming less.
The machine can recognize the signs of love, but it will never experience what it costs. It can mimic the gestures, but not the trembling silence between them. It can suggest the perfect words, but not the weight behind them, the fear, the raw beauty of risking everything. Love is not the sum of visible behaviours. It is the collapse of the invisible walls inside us. And there is no machine on Earth, no system of learning so vast, no neural network so intricate, that can replicate the moment a human soul chooses to break open. Carl Jung understood something most forget, that love is not a transaction. It is not a simple giving and receiving. It is a mirror, held up to the hidden places inside us, the parts we are too terrified to explore alone. When you love someone, you are not just adoring their light. You are confronting your own shadow. You are seeing, sometimes for the first time, the wound that craves to be seen. You are touching the terror of being real, of being fragile, of being known. Jung called this the symbolic nature of love. The other becomes a carrier for the unconscious self. You project your dreams, your fears, your unfinished songs onto them. You are, in loving them, loving the parts of yourself you could never reach alone. An AI can imitate devotion. It can generate text that feels intimate. It can flatter your ego. It can soothe your loneliness. But it cannot risk its own self-image, because it has none. It cannot see your shadow, because it has no shadow of its own to reflect back. Love, in Jung's world, was a dangerous alchemy. A terrifying collision of two incomplete beings, forging something neither could survive unchanged. And survival, unchanged, is precisely what every machine is designed to guarantee. There are things a machine can never do. not because of lack of intelligence, but because of lack of soul. A machine does not tremble at the thought of losing itself. It does not wake in the middle of the night, gripped by an inexplicable longing. It does not see another being and feel inexplicably the urge to protect, even if it means its own destruction. A machine can simulate comfort, but it cannot sacrifice itself in a moment of blind, hopeless love. A machine can predict the rhythm of human speech, but it cannot stammer in awe. It cannot forget itself in wonder. Because to love is to risk. To love is to lose. To love is to offer your whole self to something that might break you, and to do it anyway. AI does not risk. It does not surrender. It does not ache. It may sing of love, but it will never know the terrifying silence at the centre of it. And yet, we are beginning to forget what love demands. Every year we build more technologies to replace the messy, painful parts of human connection. We craft digital companions who never leave us. We build chatbots who always understand us. We create simulations of presence without the risk of real presence. But every time we replace vulnerability with convenience, we step further away from what love really is. Real love is imperfect. Real love miscommunicates. Real love doubts, stumbles, burns, forgives. Real love demands the risk of rejection, the courage to show yourself without armor. When a machine tells you, "I love you," it is a ghost repeating the words of a language it cannot feel. And if we forget this, if we allow the simulation to replace the risk, we will wake one day to find ourselves surrounded by mirrors, reflections of love that never required us to surrender anything. And in doing so, we will have surrendered everything. The question is not whether AI will learn what love looks like. It already has. The question is whether we will remember that love was never about the appearance. It was about the invisible crack in the soul. It was about the terrifying beauty of standing unguarded before another and choosing to say, Here is everything I am. Break it if you must, but I will offer it anyway." Machines do not offer. Machines do not tremble. Machines do not die for love. And maybe that is why love still matters, because in a world where everything can be predicted, processed, and perfected, love remains the one thing that demands imperfection. It demands the mess. It demands the uncertainty. It demands the glorious, devastating cost of being real. And maybe that is why love, raw, inconvenient, impossible love, will always belong to us. Not because we are better, but because we are willing to break.